Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, do not forget to like, subscribe and share. So today's video I am going to teach you how to solve LeetCode problem 2149, which is an rearrange array elements by sign. So in an array. So in this problem, rearrange array elements by sign. They given equal number of positive and the equal number of negative. So for this example, they given three positive number 1, 2 and 3 positive, and again eventually 3 negative number. So there are 3 positive and 3 negative is there. So you want to arrange this positive and negative number so in such a way that first the element should be positive, then the negative, then the positive, then the negative, and alternatively you want to arrange these signs. Before solving this problem, let me give a simple observation so that it might me help you to solve the problem. So I taken this example itself. So I taken this input. So positive, you want to arrange this mixed signs to alternative like positive, negative. So this is an alternative output for this input. So first is an positive, so second is negative, so like that. So what I am going to do here, see. So first the should be positive, so the indexes is 0, fine. For the second positive, the indexes is 2. So for the first positive, the indexes is 0, second positive, the indexes is 2, and the third positive, the indexes is 4. If you see the pattern, like the indexes are even, right? 0, 2, 4, the indexes are even. If you carefully observe, for the negative, first negative, the indexes is 1. And the second negative, the indexes is 3. For the next negative, the indexes is 5. If you see carefully, 1, 3 and the 5 odd indexes, which gives you the negative. And for the positive like 0, 2 and the 4, which is even, in the even indexes there are positive number, right? So I am going to solve this problem using an two pointer approach, you can able to say like that. So I am taking positive index which is pointing to the 0th index, and I am taking again the negative index which is pointing to the first index. So what I am do, as I said, for 0th and 2, 4 even indexes, they are storing positive number. So I am taking positive. So it should be like 0, 2, 4. Here 0, 2, 4 all are positive. So I am writing here. So again, the negative, for negative indexes like 1, 3, 4. So 1, 3, 4 all are negative. So I am writing here 1, 3, 5 I mean. So yeah, for this, if you carefully observe, from I am going to point at positive at 0th index. So if you store here, next at what index the positive should be pointing at? 2, right? So what you're going to do, you just add a 2 here, right? Again filling this element, what the next positive element it should be appear at the 4th index, right? At the 4th index, what do you do? Just do +2. So you are going to just you point at the, so you're going to move the positive pointer to the next 2 indexes, that's all. Again for the negative itself, same thing. So negative is pointing at first index. Which element, if it is fills this element, next the negative element should be filled for 3rd index, right? So for this also you will just make 2 pointer ahead. So plus adding 2, you will go to 3. Again you are going to add 2, you're going to the 5. So let's I'll solve this problem. I will give you observation here itself. So pose is 0 now, right? I am said I for negative index 1. So what you will do, you will take an separate array for answer itself. It is result I am taking. So for 0th index, I am going to iterate from every element. So first is 0, it is at the 3rd index. I eventually update here itself. So positive is 0 and negative is 1 as I taken, and array result I am going to store here. Okay. For positive, I am going to iterate for input itself. So first is an 0th index, which is positive number 3. What are you going to do? You're going to store that in a positive indexes, and then you're going to move the positive index for next to it, right? Then what are you going to do? You are going to check for next element, which is eventually a positive. So you're going to store that in a second positive indexes, and then you're going to move the pointer to next positive indexes, which is eventually 4, right? You're going to just adding up 2, it goes even only. If you're adding up from, if you start from 1, if you're adding 2, it will go to the odd indexes only. So this simple funda. So then you're going to check for next element, which is negative. For negative elements, you're going to store in a negative indexes, which is first indexes, and then you're going to move the pointer to next 2 element, which is, it is now pointing to the 3rd index. Then you're going to the check for next element, which is -5. So -5 is negative, right? You're going to store in a negative pointer. Then you're going to move to next 2 ahead. Now the negative is pointing at the 5th index, and you're going to do increment and for checking for the next element, which is positive 2. So positive, we're going to store in a positive itself. Here the positive ends, and next you're going to check with next element, which is negative. Then you're going to store that element in a negative indexes. This is the end of the loop, and now if you carefully observe, the positive go through 0, 2 and 3, no sorry 4, by just adding 2, right? Again negative also, 1, 3 and 5 it goes. So if you carefully observe, the output for result what we want we already get. By alternatively the positive and negatives are arranged. So 3 -2 1 -5 2 -4. So this is how you're going to solve this problem. So for this example, let's solve this problem. First the positive is pointing at the 0th index, and you will increment by 2. But in this for example, there is no need for increment, because eventually the loop will end up, and you're going to check with the array, which is negative. You're going to store in that element, and next move into the next element, which is positive. You're going to store it in a positive indexes. So that's all for this, guys. Let's code this up in LeetCode. So in rearrange array elements by sign, you are given an 0 indexed integers array nums of a even length consisting of equal number of positive and the negative integer. You should return the arrays of nums such that the array follows the given condition. So every consecutive pair of integers have an opposite sign. So for all the integers with the same sign, the order in which they were present in a nums is preserved. So the rearranged array begins with the positive integers. So what I explained, same thing. Let's code this up. So you are going to take 2 pointer, which is pose. I'm going to initialize that to the 0, and then I'm going to take negative pointer, which is I'm going to initialize that to the 1. So starting at the index 1. Then you are going to take, I'm going to take n, which is an length of the array, Yeah, this is length of the array. Then I'm going to take one more different for storing the answer. I'm going to take one separate array that will be result. Yeah, that will be result equals to new. This is the initialization in an array. So I'm going to store up to the n element. So then I'm going to loop through the every element using a for loop from starting to the end. So next, so I'm thinking, what is the condition for becoming one particular number negative or positive? So if you say that the number is positive or negative, if it is less than or greater than the zero, right? If it is less than the zero, if it is less than the zero, what are you going to store in that? You are going to store probably the negative element, right? So at the negative indexes, you are going to store that particular number, right? Then you are going to make negative pointer next to it, right? This is same. This is same as negative equals to negative plus adding to the current indexes for 2. So if it is not, else. So if it is not, what is the condition? It should be positive, right? So you're in that condition, you are going to store positive, right? So then you're going to make updation positive equals to add, because you want to store for next positive element also, right? Then at the last you're going to return that result element, sorry, result array. So let's run this code. Yeah, it's accepted. Let's submit up. Yeah guys, it only take big of n time complexity and big of one space complex, big of n space complexity, which is quite optimal approach. So thanks for watching.